Hello guys, I hope that everyone you are all doing good and feeling healthy and safe at your homes, at your workplace, and staying with your family. So now discussing about the beautiful topic, it can be like the current necessity. I will say about the reports. What are reports? How we are going to make it, and what are all the sources that are useful. So this video will be very useful for a financial person who are studying in any graduate school, graduate college, or any post graduation college. And this can also useful in about the professionals who are working under a brokerage company or who are working or who are going self, and mostly for the retail investors, exactly how to make the report and what are the things in that we should look in that particular company, so we get the whole idea. And the most important is what are the sources, how do you get the information, because the only the retail investor know two or three websites like the screener, ticker tape, Tijori Finance, and accept all that they get the information and they will go with it. But on the deeper side, what the fund managers, what the research brokerage, what the credit agency looks into it. So let me give you a small glimpse. If you need on it, I will give you it. Now moving forward, what is the research report about talking about? It's the research report tells you about the company whole from starting to end, about what's the company background, what's the industry, what's the peer, what's the financials of that company, what's the growth outlook. On the basis of the facts and the figures, on the basis of the charts and the patterns, it shows by collected by the different sources of it. And who makes the research report? That's the most important. Normal investor, retail investor, we are talking normal person is not making that the research report. It's made by the credit. First is the credit rating agency. This is a very technical term. Let's understand what is credit rating agency, CRA. So whenever the company owns the debt, so what do? So they go for the loan. But according to the government guidelines, the company should be rated by an agency. So according to that, the interest rate will be decided and the given by the loan providers if you're talking. So if like suppose an ITC company goes with the ICICI Bank or the CRISIL, so give me the rating. So on that side, ITC will provide all the necessary information to that agency, to the CRISIL, and on the basis of that, the CRISIL will give them rating and they will describe that how the company about it. So these are the reports in which they tell about the basic things about the company, and for very small report you get very useful information. Let me give you an example. On the next slide I will be showing you with examples. Next is brokerage companies. ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Motilal Oswal, or it can be any big companies which are brokerage handling a large chunk of money and releasing the reports for their clients. And of course they are for the in the market as well. They are not on the time to update. It's a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day late, but they are very accurate. You must read them. Fund managers, investment bankers, they are the major part of the market, which have a very good information about the market and handles every not everything, but handles a major chunk of the portfolio, major uh, high net worth individuals in their portfolio base. So let's talk about what are the sources, not roaming here and there, about the important information sources where from you can get the information. So first is the annual. I have divided into four steps. Like on the company side, on the most of the investor which are looking into credit, like big firms, and the third is the started by an individual person in which this is not relevant as much, but they are very good source. And the fourth is the most important and the most difficult and the most relevant for any fund manager or any. This is the first we will start about the company side. Annual report. Annual report is given by the company once a year, and it can be on the end of the year, like on the December, and except that on the Indian, according to the Indian finance, it will be on the 31st of March. And after that, on the with the month or with the after 2 months, the company gives the annual report in which the whole financial roadmap is given in that report, and it's well scanned by the whole CEO, CFO, and the whole department. And so the information which are presented is the relevant. There is no doubt in that information, and so the investor should be looking into the annual report. They contain, and I will come with the video how to read annual report. Is the most important part, because we does not understand how to read it. Second is the investor presentation. Investor presentation, normally the large cap companies, mid cap companies, and the some small cap companies come with the investor presentation quarterly basis, like 4 times a year. So in which this is a small presentation which gives you a glimpse about the scenarios. It can be like on the past, current, and the future roadmap I'm talking about. And very on this very small side, they tells you about everything, and you should invest or not. And the next is the company website. So on the major side, nobody looks on the company website in detail. So as you should be looking into it, you should be understanding, you should be utilizing all the information around you. Like if you're talking about the ITC, let me show you an example. So if it's the business like this, business, there are different types of business in brands in this sustainability and all. So you should be looking into the best times. And next is the credit rating reports, as you have already mentioned. Like it should be given you by like this. This is the CRISIL credit rating report on the ITC Limited, in which they have given the rating AAA is the best rated and A1 plus short term rating on the short term basis, and they will like short term facilities about 17,050, sorry, 1,750 crore. And now the details about the company is mentioned, and if you read, you will get a very beautiful idea about the company business, the company current scenario. And how do you get this credit rating reports? That's also the most important. So now coming on it, there are many other websites like Screener, like there are different trendline, trending, or you will get that report on the CRISIL portal. You can get on the HDFC Bank, not HDFC portal, and ICICI portal, or you can get it. And there are different Telegram channels, and except that they are on the Google as well. If you type about the particular company. Now the CRISIL is the relevant source. Bloomberg, Statista are the very important. Now coming on the fourth, like value picker portal. This is the very rarely terms. If you have not ever listened, then you must visit and research about a particular company. So here are the investors and the retail investors who are very knowledgeable and very keen of knowing things, put valuable content into this website, and everyone posts their relevant content, and the information will not be like relevant, but they are very useful. You should not ignore them. Next is Twitter, as this is the not relevant sources, but has these are the sources in which information come very fast, time to time, and many big investors are there. YouTube, Google, you can randomly search. And the next one is the investor relation. If you want to talk about the company management, like if you have any doubt that you are not getting the solution, then you can connect to the management. That's the very big source, investor relation. But it should be formal, it should be like very well prepared, and in most cases they will not entertain you about that scenario. Moving on the next, about how to make the research report. It's like first of the company analysis. We are talking about company in which all the details like will come. Industry analysis about in the particular sector, like in the ITC, it's in the different segment, FMCG, cigarette, and in the hotel, in the agri business. So about talking about that particular industry, what's the growth outlook? Like have you ever listened, have you familiar with the term that FMCG sector will grow about the 7 to 8% in the coming 5 years CAGR? So these are the very beautiful terms. Business verticals refers to the product side. What are the products in that particular company? As we have already talked about in the ITC, the different types of products. And then next comes is the peer comparison. This is the most beautiful. If you want to get any information, study also the competitor. In case of FMCG, ITC, Britannia, Dabur, HUL, Marico. So you have to study these companies in detail to get a brief idea. And so you can decide, like as you all know that in the biscuit category there are many players. But what's the current scenario? If you are reading the balance sheet, if you are annual report of the ITC, they will talk about themselves. But what about the competitors? You should know about the competitors, and then research about them. And then next is the SWOT: strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. It's a very beautiful model that the company used in their marketing terms. But as an investor, you should be looking into this: the company strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Like in case of that, there are chemical companies talking about. Chemical companies' threats are so much that makes them uh, not very encouraging or not very giving the market returns, because the not every chemical company, there are very few chemical companies that is harming the people health. And according to this scenario, that we respect the health so much, like in the Sayati industries, on the roofing sector, that the non-asbestos material health impacts the health, and which can lead to cancer and death of that particular person. Now coming on the financial overview, which contains three: balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow. The most important, you should read in detail. And key growth drivers. Key growth drivers, it can be like current scenarios in which we are talking about, like about the government spending, about the ITC cigarette market. If we are talking about ITC FMCG, which is growing at a 20% growth rate in the quarter-on-quarter basis. So these are the growth outlook on the future side, what they are going to do. Agribusiness is showing very good performance. FMCG is showing they have diversified their business model, and the investors are very happy. They are going to invest. So the IT share price is from 200 to now it's 312. So very good opportunity to invest. Like you look for the growth outlook. Rational, what is rational in, it's a very technical term. This is for basically the investors. Why should investors invest in that particular company? After reading the rationale of that report, investors should be convinced that if he is investing in that company, then there is some growth outlook. It can be like about the capital expenditure, if somebody is doing, and due to which valuation will, due to which their revenue model, their ratios, and the company shareholding are improving. So these are the very positive factor you should be looking into it. And next is valuation. What do you think after the company 3 years, after 4 years, or after 2 years, after 10 years? You look that the company will go looking forward to. So these are the very beautiful. And on the other side, now understand about the company. I will wrap up easily, like not easily, like fastly, so you can understand. Like the company overview. Let me not going into this. Where you can go to the company website about ITC. ITC is one of the India's foremost. So this will tell you about the company overview, and in the business in which you tell about the different business, you have to mention about the company details, and on the other side you have to mention about the brands. What the brands are they using it? So these are the information you will never get on any there. The company website is the best source. I will talk in terms of it. The next in which we are talking about industry overview. What is the industry overview? As I talked about the investor presentation, this the snapshot is taken from the investor presentation. Let me show you the investor presentation. So this is the investor presentation of the ITC, in which they have given about the inflation terms, because they have impacted their margins. Next is about the interest, about the US dollar and all. And now on the demand side, this is all about the macro level, and this is the global and the India map. So you should read about this. So they have given you very deeply about the industry overview, and if you read about the credit rating reports, then also you will get the industry overview. If you read it about the company, about and all. Now talking about the financials, financials you can get by the investor presentation, and if you want to go to the deep down, then you should read annual reports. And annual reports contain half of the pages. Like if there is a 200 annual pages of annual report, then 100 pages will contain financials. So these are the FMCG, hotel, agribusiness, paperboards, and they have divided into it. Now the first product segment, FMCG. Now they have divided into secret, recent innovation, other information, growth drivers. What they are looking into about the growth of that particular leadership position in Indian, healthy revenue, strong financial, growth outlook, the future outlook which we are talking about it. Rational and valuation, as you already talked. These are the best. Now guys, I will tell you that measure. And thank you for watching.